So, Madam Ambassador, are you satisfied with the arrangement that was made?
Yes, very satisfied. It looks like they have gone back to counting, and the process has begun again.
Can we expect that you guys will come up, return anytime later on this evening?
If necessary.
And what would necessitate that? You're returning?
We'll hear from the chairwoman, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
For the time being, we are confident that the process will continue as it should, and if it continues as it should, there
How are you doing, sir? Everything's good?
It was very cordial.
Nobody
disrespected anybody.
Yeah. What has happened is that the proceedings have stopped for a minute. It's stopped for a while now. The reason why it stopped is because the verification process was being done from a sheet, a spreadsheet, that purports to have the number of votes for each political party. You can't do that. The only process of verification that is permitted by law is from a statement to poll. Section 84, 85 of the Representation of People Act is clear. You have to have the statement to poll. You can't do it from a spreadsheet. And what happened is the numbers on the spreadsheet doesn't match the numbers on PPP's statement of polls. And the counting agent for the PPP said to them on more than one occasion, we don't have those numbers, and they were proceeding, saying that they could only do so, they could only stop if the CEO, Lowenfield, stops them. He can't order them to break the law. No one can order you to break the law. You have to only count from the statement of polls. And then we have to now check the input data of what they have input from each of the statement of polls. That's what's required. Anything less is unacceptable. That's how an election is interfered with. And this is what all the controversy is about. It really is a very simple issue. It can't be done if you are going to have someone read from a sheet of paper. No one will accept who prepared the sheet of paper. GECOM says this is their sheet, which has all the things for the statement of polls. But why don't they produce a statement of poll? The statement of poll is the only thing that can be used in this verification process. And this is not a count. This is a tabulation of all the statement of polls. All the political parties here have copies of the statement of poll from each of the 2,000 plus polling stations. So that is why we have been saying since yesterday that everybody, we know what the result is to be, and they know what it is to be. So when they are saying things that are entirely inconsistent with what a simple tabulation of the statement of polls would produce, then there's cause for worry. And this was going on. They went through like 20, 25, and the numbers don't match. And we said, you have to stop it. You can't continue. Lowenfield came and gave an explanation and then left. But he wouldn't come back down and explain where this sheet came from. And oddly enough, apparently APNU has the sheet because they're saying that's the number they have and they're reading from a sheet too. So how did they get a sheet that has the printout? We don't know how any of these things came about. What has to happen for Region 4 is the vote of the people must count. Whatever the people wish is what must go forward. and those statement of polls are signed by the presiding officer, the DRO, signed by the polling agent for all the political parties who are present. They witness the count and they sign on it. So there could be no dispute as to what it is. It represents the will of the people.
So GECOM know who make that spreadsheet?
Well, they haven't said who's made the spreadsheet. They simply came out with a sheet of paper and said this is what they're going to follow. They haven't indicated to us. We have asked, where did you get it from? And we got no answer so far. We don't know who made this thing.
So how long they will take to correct this spreadsheet or whatever?
This is not a lengthy process. This is how it works. I take the statement of poll. I say in region number this, polling station number 41331, these are the votes. ANUG, APNU, and you say what numbers you have. The polling agents, the counting agents who are sitting down there for the respective parties and the observers, the agents will say, we have that number, we have that number, yes, 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 it's agreed, it's entered. So that we the tabulation, because they have a tabulation going on. You pick up the next sheet, statement of poll. You say region number 4, polling station number 41, whatever, and you read it through. This is not rocket science. It ought not to take this long.
Right. With the spreadsheet, you're saying that there could be a way of rigging the elections?
I'm not saying the spreadsheet is a way of rigging the election. I said the spreadsheet being used was in the process of rigging the elections. That's what was happening in there, because they keep attributing on the spreadsheet that they're reading from. There are more votes that are entered on that sheet that they have for APNU than the statement of polls have, and we've asked them to produce their statement of polls so that they could see for the verification. They say they don't need to do that. So it was only when everyone came here and everyone raised it, the international observers have pointed it out, the diplomatic corps is here, now it is stopped. With this stop, it now has to be, you have to go back and do the process. You can't just simply continue.
Now, just to get this clear, you're suggesting that this was not accidental, there was a deliberate attempt to rig the election process?
Well, I think that where did the sheet come from? If we get that answer, then we can answer whether they were rigging the election. But they were in the process of counting votes that do not exist on the statement of polls, that are signed by the APNU representatives, signed by the PPP representatives, the polling officer, and the deputy returning officer. Those signatures are should be on that document.
What, in light of this occurring and you being made aware of it, everybody's aware of it now, there is a need for a recount?
Well, it's not a recount. What will happen is all that were done from a spreadsheet now have to be done over from a statement of poll. Yes, so the ones that all of yesterday, all of last evening until they stopped at 9 o'clock were all done from statement of polls.
What guarantees are in place that this would not happen again?
Well, the observers are here, they're not going to leave. The counting agents for the various political parties are here, they're not going to leave either. And the people that are in that room are going to be vigilant to make sure that doesn't happen again.
And the gentleman who was sick early, he's back on the job?
I understand, no, I don't think he is back here, but I understand he's no longer in hospital and he is okay. I hope he is all right. All right.
Thank you very much.
Accumulation of votes, that's what I think might be the problem. So we're waiting for them to come outside to get a briefing from them. So we're waiting here since 8 a.m. to get a press conference from GECOM. It was cancelled due to one of the RO officer took an ill about like 10:30 this morning. They took him to the hospital, and since then he didn't come back to GECOM Media Center. And right now, I think what they say, what I think they told me earlier, is that they count 65 statements of poll, and the PPP representative says that they didn't verify 65 statement of polls. So this is the issue that's going on right now in GECOM Media Center. So right now we're waiting for Barjagdir, leader of the PPP Civic, to hear what he has to say, and also members from the EP and UNAFC as well.
So that's the most important aspect of that now, is that if there's a dispute, that dispute resolution procedures get followed appropriately. And again, it's going to be for the people of Guyana, for the election commission to follow its rules with respect to any dispute. And we'll be here throughout the process.
So just you're saying that the information that has been now made public.
Hold on 1 second.
Political parties as part of the city will collect some information before you make your statement. Does that include speaking to the political parties?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're saying that the information that has now been made public regarding Region 4 has not been announced in the building that you were just now?
Yes, I have not. There's been no announcement in the building where I was since there was an announcement that no one could hear. So we'll continue to go.
I understand that. Granger was, Mr. Granger was swearing tonight. Is that illegal or is not illegal?
Well, as I understand the process, there's a very strict legal code that goes along with what should happen. With respect to when the final results get declared, etc. All we are talking about is Region 4. And so once that process has run its course, there's a provision in the law that allows for a recount if there's a dispute. Again, I haven't seen any final numbers, so I don't know if there is a dispute. But if there's a dispute, then that process would need to run its course. They would need to ensure that all of the political parties are able to get their rights, and their ability to demand recounts and other things have to be respected. And then after the process is complete, there will be, the commission will meet and will declare final results, and only then would there be, an ultimate winner. That's the process, and that process, again, it's not going to be overseen by or ruled by international observers. It's going to be for the people of Guyana, for the Guyana system, the Guyana courts, the Guyana the Guyana Election Commission, etc. will go through that process. And so we are still just in the middle, in essence, of a process. And again, I haven't seen any of these results from Region 4, the official ones. So we'll wait and we'll see what the reaction is to those results on both sides. And then once that legal process runs its course, we'll be around. But we may have more to say later this evening, and if so, we'll let you know.
When do you guys leave? When do you guys?
Exactly has been declared, but we know that there needs to be transparency about this process. We know that people are on edge all over the country, and so we intend to take a look at exactly what the situation is, and we'll make a full statement later.
So just to make it clear, you're saying that the information that is now...
I think the most important thing right now is that no matter what happens with respect to the statement or the leaders, that we have to get an appropriate process has to be followed. For example, if one of the parties seeks a recount, we have to ensure that they have the ability to get that recount. And that's one of the things that's going to be very important over the next little while. And so we'll definitely be talking to all of the parties about what their intentions are. And we assume, as we have before, that the parties...
Against GECOM of their shady deals that they run. Nobody else talks about it. No political party in this country talks about it besides the UR. Because they're scared to talk. Because their vote might be docked too, like our votes.
So you're saying that you're the only one of the smaller parties who is challenging the GECOM?
Yes.
Because you're saying the others are afraid.
Nobody is saying nothing besides us. Nobody says anything about GECOM.
From New York TV.
Even the big party is not saying anything. Only we are talking about it because of the thing that I saw they did to us and to me personally.